Hello friends, welcome back. Friends, we are discussing about the cells of the connective tissue. So up to here we have discussed about the adipocyte or the cells of the adipose tissue. So osteocyte we discussed, osteoblast we discussed, chondrocyte, chondroblast, adipocyte, mast cell, these have been discussed. Now let us go forward and discuss the other two types of the connective tissue cells. Those are endothelial cells and the pericytes. Okay friends, welcome back. Let us discuss about endothelial cells. Endothelial cells. Endothelial cells are also the cells of the connective tissue. Why? Because they are derived from the mesenchymes. That's why we say that they are the cells of the connective tissue. So that is the important point. What is their shape? So endothelial cells are somewhat hexagonal in shape. Hexagonal. Hexa means six and gona means side. So these cells are somewhat like this. So you can see here there are six sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and this is their nucleus. So they are somewhat hexagonal in shape, right? So endothelial cells are hexagonal in shape. Then we say what is their number, how many endothelial cells we have in our body. So endothelial cells, the book have written that there are 1 trillion endothelial cells in our body. So look at their number, 1 trillion endothelial cells we have in our body. And what is their lifespan, for how many days do they live and then they die. So some books have written that their lifespan is about 1 year. Up to 1 year they can live in our body and then they are vanished, right? So then they are derived from what? So again I will say that they are the cells of the connective tissue, right? So that's why we say that they are derived from the mesenchymes, right? Mesenchymal cells, right? They are derived from mesenchymal cells. And then what is their location? Where are these endothelial cells present? So they are located inside the blood vessels. For example, this is a blood vessel, right? And the walls of these blood vessels are made up of these endothelial cells. So friends, these are the, I'm drawing very simply, these are the endothelial cells. So mostly they are present in the walls of blood vessels, right? Blood vessels and also the capillaries. You know, capillaries are also blood vessels. So they are mostly found in the blood vessels, right? And they are very important. They perform very important functions. I will tell you all about these functions. So they are present in the blood vessels. The next important point is that their size. What is the size of these endothelial cells? So friends, as you know that if this is an endothelial cell, for example, I am drawing very simply. This is an endothelial cell, right? Like this. So there is the length of the cell, right? Length of the cell, and there is the width of the cell, and then there is the thickness of the cell, right? So the length, the width and the thickness of the cell. So about the length of this cell, it's length, width and thickness. So the thickness is very less and the length of the cell is about 50 to 70 micrometer, right? And the width is about 30 micrometer, and their thickness, they were very less thickness, so their thickness is about 0.1 to 10 micrometer, right? So this is the size of this endothelial cell, right? And what is their function? Most importantly, look carefully friends, what is their function? Look, whenever blood comes, right, blood brings different needy substances to the tissue cells. So these are the cells of the tissue, right? They need different substances. So these endothelial cells help in exchange of different substances between blood and tissue. The first function. The second function is that they make the walls of the blood capillaries. The third function is that they also help in blood clotting. So whenever they prevent blood clotting, and also they help in blood clotting, right? So their function is exchange, right? Exchange, protection, right? Forms blood vessels, form blood vessels, right? They help in blood clotting, right? We have lecture on that. And they prevent blood clotting also. They prevent blood clotting also, right? So these are some important functions of these endothelial cells that they do perform, right? So endothelial cells have hexagonal shape. Their number is 1 trillion. Their lifespan is that, and they are derived from mesenchymes. Their location and size and functions, right? The next lecture will be about the last cell of the connective tissue, that is called the pericytes. See you there.